How's it going, lovely people? I'm doing a bit of an update today because I'm sick and I've taken a day off. I've been absolutely constant since last time we were going to the studio. Recently there, last week, I was in Nashville for about 8 days doing co-writes, working with some publishers and some things. I was doing a lecture in Belmont University and also just doing some gigs. I was playing the Bluebird Cafe and Belcourt Taps and stuff. Just testing out some of the new songs actually. While I was there, I was writing some songs and I was intentionally going to see if there was any co-writes for the album. I'd written in the past few weeks with some major songwriters, some top songwriters. Gary Burr for one, check Gary Burr out. He's basically a Hall of Fame guy that's very successful as a songwriter and makes a living solely doing that and has written some massive hits. And we wrote a really good song together that I think's probably going to be in the album. And it's funny actually, out of all the songs that I'd worked with, or all the people that I'd worked with, I had, while doing the lecture in Belmont University, I'd actually said I'm up for doing co-writes with students as well, because I don't really see that there's a tier of good or bad. It's just anyone can write the perfect song. And I got together with a girl called Ali Westover, and we wrote a song together. It's just a student, a young girl that doesn't have a lot of experience in songwriting. She has her own songs, 2 or 3 that I've heard that are good. One in particular that was very good, and we came at the song from a very specific angle, and it was a very early in the morning co-write. I just squeezed a few students into early morning slots to just get started. And the song that it went with is really fantastic. Like, I really love it. It's sort of about finally having enough, that point of saying I've had enough, and standing up for yourself, whether that's in a relationship or what it's in, but saying there's some worth in me and I deserve more than this. And we both just had a good feel. There was a good feel in the room. Sometimes when you're co-writing, and for some of the co-writes where I was in Nashville, there wasn't a good feel in the room. Some of the people just try and take control, and it doesn't work. That happened once out of 10 co-writes. And it just, the person didn't know how to co-write. They were trying to write a song themselves. Also, something that was really interesting that ignorantly I hadn't noticed before throughout my life, I didn't really co-write with women a lot. Probably because all my circles within playing were, the writers were men. I'd written with Fiona O'Kane, who's an Irish singer-songwriter, in a band called Runaway Go when we were younger, and it was really good. It was a great song called Heaven Only Knows. But then you tend to just write with the people that you're knocking about with, or you're working with typically, or that you see out in the local circuit. And typically it was mostly men, so I was co-writing with those people. And the past probably 7 or 8 co-writes now have been women, and it's a completely different viewpoint in songs. It opens up a whole other world and a whole other viewpoint, is the way to say it, and a whole other viewpoint of the story and where it's going to go. Men try to compete for the next line, whereas women try to complement and work on the story. And that's a very sexist comment towards male, but it's just something that I've definitely noticed that is the case in the majority of the co-writes that I've done. So it's really interesting. A lot of the songs so far have been co-writes with women, and the ones that I think are going to make the album have been co-writes with women. There's a lot of songs that I'm writing myself as well that are going to be on the album, but I'm just sort of exploring and trying to make this as good an album as possible. There's definitely a different sound appearing. Just bump the camera. There's a different sound appearing in terms of what it used to sound like. The first album was a number of songs over a collection of years, and obviously this is a number of songs over a collection of months. And there's a bit more soul in this. There's definitely a bit more passion in it, as opposed to just singing songs beautifully. And I love the songs in the last one, I really do. I love the way that it's produced and it's part of where I was at that point, and I'm very happy with it. But there's something really exciting about this. There's something exciting about this is going to be a snapshot of a few months of my life. It's going to be very specific, and the thing is, it's been a really busy period of my life. Everything's happening at the moment. I'm probably just at that age. So I'm really excited to see what comes out here. Only Gonna Last So Long with Madeline Slate is a fantastic song as well. I really, really love that. I'll put in some clips probably now of Connor and Dan working on that song. I'm sort of weary of giving too much away in advance. I don't really want to. I don't know if I want you to hear the demos at this point, because they'll probably change so much. I don't want you getting used to the demos, or hearing a form demo which isn't complete and it has MIDI instruments in it just to put placement there. I'm not sure if some people would think, oh god, that's terrible. So give us a bit of input. If you're interested in hearing demos, maybe I'll individually send them to some people if they're interested. I've let some people hear live versions of songs, and when I was playing the Bluebird in Nashville, I played some of the new material that went down very well. Ali Westover's co-writer in particular, which is, I'll let you hear a bit of it. So I've got Madeline Slate to do a bit of a wee talk on her phone and play a bit of the song to you the way that she hears it. I hear it differently, but it's similar enough. And the same with Ali. I got Ali to play a version of the song that we wrote together, so you could hear it from her point of view, and then it'll be something to compare against mine. So at the minute, it's a real album full of questions. The last album was more statements. This one, for example, has, a while ago I lost faith. I'm about 24, maybe I'm about 31 now, and that comes and goes. I'm probably agnostic at this moment in time, but there's a song on there called Heaven that is probably the closer on the album. That's one of my favourite lyrically at the minute, and it's been written just by me, and that's probably why it's my favourite. But it just has good questions in it, and it comes from my point of view where I don't really assume to know. I'm asking questions, and it's very genuine and heartfelt. And it's funny, I was writing that song, and then when I'd finished it, I realised that this was something that was on my mind and something that I was worried about and annoyed about. So have a listen to that when it's out, and you'll get a vibe of what I'm saying. We've already started that in the studio. We've got the drums track for that, and I was working on key, finding the right key for the voice, because the chorus was pretty high. So I think we went from D to G, and it sounds pretty good. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with everything so far. We've so far tracked 4 songs. It doesn't mean that all 4 of these songs will be on the album. I'm just starting to collect as much as possible. We've laid drums down for 4 with Connor McCauley, who's another lecturer in the university with me, and we laid some guitar down with Dan, but we didn't have a lot of time to do that at the last session. What I'm trying to do is, during each session, get 1 or 2 instruments done per session. It saves me a lot of money in the studio, but it also has to do with preparedness and the guys coming in being prepared. The first session wasn't a prepared session. I just needed to get started. It was basically to break the duck to get started in that, and we started now. It's moving. It's actually moving pretty fast, the amount of songs that are coming in. A few more co-writes lined up, but yeah, you're gonna get a lot more information pretty soon on how it's going, and a lot more video content as well. So this is just a wee update to say that Nashville went well. I'm knackered and wrapped and sick since I came back. My body just can't get used to the jet lag, and excuse me, it's gonna be a whirlwind of information coming your way now in the next few songs. I'd like some feedback. Do you want specifics on the songs? Do you want to know what the songs are about? Or would you rather not than just have your own general opinion when you listen to it? Either way, I might put some up, and it's your choice if you want to listen to them or not. I have some interviews coming that I've already recorded from Madeline and Ali, and then I'll have a few more from some of the other co-writes as well. So thanks very much for taking your time to listen. I'll get better in the next few days, and then I'll start updating a bit more. So thank you. I'll also upload some of the studio content. Sorry for that being delayed. I've just been crazy busy. So have a good one, people. Lovely catching up with you.